Gut issues ruining your travel plans? Then you need to watch this video. I used to have really bad Crohn's and colitis, and I have a 13-day protocol where I show you how I fix that, and it's also worked for many other people. So I would go, like I went to one trip to Italy back when I was doing the holistic thing, and I couldn't have pizza. Like I went to Italy and I couldn't eat pizza. I couldn't eat pasta. And even while I was following my strict diet, I slipped up once and I had a delicious French pastry. And I had one of the worst flares ever when I was in a foreign country, couldn't speak the language, didn't, 911 is something different. It sucked. And I just spent, I saved up my money all year. I'd used every bit of willpower to try to get my health as good as possible by eating the most boringest, blandest foods on earth. And all that money just got flushed down the toilet. All that effort just went straight down the toilet. Now I eat croissants every morning. Now I can travel wherever I want to, and I will have energy. I won't be fatigued. I'll be able to eat whatever foods are there. I'll be able to eat the gluten. I'll be able to eat the dairy. And I did this by addressing the root cause. Now, a brilliant German doctor could look at your brain CT scan and know exactly what health conditions you had. And for somebody with IBS, Crohn's, or colitis, they would have rings here or over here caused by a conflux shock. What is some crap I want to get rid of, but I can't? Or what is something important to my survival I want to digest and absorb, but I can't? Think back to when this is exactly how you get better. I go in much more detail in my protocol and my free webinar that's on my bio link, but this is step number one. You get out a piece of paper and you start writing down, when did I first get explosive diarrhea and blood started flying out of my butt? When was that? Was it when you graduated college? Was it when you graduated high school? Was it when you were at this job or in this relationship or that relationship? Write down when was your first flare and then what was stressing you out around that time you started having that flare. That is the starting point. The next thing you need to do is when you get symptoms, write down what you were doing because you encountered a PTSD trigger of that traumatic event. So an example for me is I would always have to go to the bathroom in the grocery store. Very weird. And it wasn't like I was angry. I was like, oh, I have to go to the grocery store. I don't want to go to the grocery store. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm in the grocery store. All right, I'm hungry. And every time I walked down the candy aisle, I would get diarrhea. Why? Because when I was a young kid, my trauma was from childhood. My gut issues started in childhood. But, think about me as a kid not being allowed to have candy. I would lose my mind. You see it every day in the store. Kids losing their mind because they can't have candy. So every time my adult mind would walk through, my subconscious would walk through the candy aisle, it would freak out. Again, I was not experiencing any emotions, but it was PTSD of the butthole. And I would get diarrhea, and finding a toilet in a grocery store is never fun. So yeah, just having that realization stopped that. And I probably had about 10 more to go to find these subconscious PTSD triggers. But for most people where they've only had gut issues for a few years, like 2 years or something like that, it hasn't had time to get buried in your subconscious. And you can fix it really fast. And then you can travel again. I saw one video of this one primal guy, and he was carrying coconuts on an airplane. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can travel and eat normal food. There's no diets required for this. Why are all your friends and family eating crap and they're fine, but you're not? Why are you walking this holistic tightrope and barely seeing any results, and they're not doing anything specific, and they're much healthier than you? It's because this traumatic event, unfortunately for us, it wasn't consciously your fault at all. It was the subconscious. We need to start putting all of our efforts towards, one, just finding the conflict, finding the PTSD triggers, designing our life just to be less stress-free so we can just free up bandwidth for our brain. But, and just understanding how a traumatized mind works is super important. So I have a free webinar. It's instant. You watch it like in 2 seconds, starting like now. It's on my BioLink, and I go over everything I wish a GI doctor would have told me when I first got out of the doctor's office. And he said, "I don't know the root causes, and I'm too lazy to look." And then I also have my 13-day protocol, which goes over like it's like me holding your hand. You know, if I had to do this all over again.